Your eyes are open wide enough to see the dark and light. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la la, sha la la la. Brighter days are closer than you think. When you're near, I forget my fears. There are clouds up above, but behind them is always the sun. The time is right, no shortcut and no easy ride. Your eyes are open wide enough to see the dark and light. Look at the sky, the stars are shining through the night. Your eyes are open wide enough to see the dark and light. Take me in your arms. I don't want to miss a day without you. Let's stay young forever. There is nothing we can't do. And nothing can break us apart when we're together. Facing the sky, we know that we can fly on the wings of love. And we can climb on every mountain top. I never knew eternity was real till I met you. Since that day, I live in a dream. I live in a dream. Baby, you're my angel. I'll do anything to make you smile. With you, I'm in heaven. When you kiss me, I turn to a star. And nothing can break us apart when we're together. Facing the sky, we know that we can fly on the wings of love. And we can climb on every mountain top. I never knew eternity was real till I met you. Since that day, I live in a dream. I live in a dream. We live in a dream. We live in a dream. Yeah. We live in a dream.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows. And we're all going life, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.